Okay, we'll go ahead. Patty, you can sit up here with us if you want to. We'll go ahead and get started. And what I want to do is just kind of do an organizational meeting on HR 806, the study committee dealing with life insurance consumer disclosures. And everybody should have a copy of it. Any member have any questions about the study committee? My thoughts as being a chairman, we could probably do everything in 3 meetings total. We had proposed to do the next study committee on September the 17th at probably at 1 or 1:30. I think everybody responded to that. I know Chairman Shaw's going to be out of the country, and Craig, who else is going to be gone that day? Matt, you're going to be here, aren't you? Okay. But anyway, that's on September the 17th on a Thursday, and we'll try to do it in the same room here. So, and with that, this study committee is in regards, Lynn, I'm going to let you speak on the resolution, if you will, what we're trying to accomplish, and then speak on the bill. Let me make sure I do what? 1, okay. If you want to just kind of do a brief overview on the resolution and what we're trying to do. So pull it closer to you, if you will. Not really. I think the other one, is the other one on? Yeah, pull it closer. Pull it closer.
The basis of this is the life insurance is an unqualified asset for Medicaid eligibility. I believe part of this was a discussion about an economic forecasting and analysis study that was done at Florida State University that basically said that the annual savings for Florida's taxpayers was around $150 million when this okay.
That hadn't been used in a while, Lynn. That's the reason.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me back up a little bit.
Just hit the highlights and
okay.
We'll be good.
And there, as we know too, there was a model legislation from NCOIL.
Okay.
And that's what we used as a basis for the bill last year, and that is also the basis of the foundation for the study committee. Okay. Or the whereas clauses.
The other question I have, the life settlement has been around now how long? I remember voting on that when Senator Ralph Hudgens was chairman of the insurance committee on the Senate side. So
certainly stand to be corrected, but was that around 2007?
I don't know. Is that about 10 years? Okay.
Okay.
Since it's been regulated.
Okay. Okay. Why don't you speak on the bill then that I introduced, and that's House Bill 193, and what it does and what we're trying to accomplish.
Well, I think again, it was based on the NCOIL model with some changes that we had made over y'all had made over the session, and if I'm correct, I think the last substitute was LC 37 1935S, which was a substitute to HB 193. And the basis of this was the commissioner would develop a written notice promulgated by rules and regs to apprise each policy owner of alternatives to a lapse or a surrender of a policy. And it went into the details of some details, guidelines of what would be required to be in that written notice.
And the issue is, I think, that a lot of life insurance companies are not in agreement with this. Bobby, have you been brought up to speed on life insurance now? Bobby Potter, as far as representing, you represent the American. Okay. And
More up to speed than it was last year.
okay. Okay. Any questions from the committee right now on anything? Okay. My hope is to come up with some kind of resolution on this, and I think there's a need, but we want to be fair to everybody on this as much as we possibly can. Next time we could take a lot of testimony from folks, all the life insurance companies. I think they're life agents that will be either for or against. I know the life insurance companies have some concerns about notification of insureds. Am I correct on that? Okay. But if someone is diagnosed with a terminal illness, is my understanding, this gives them an opportunity to sell their life product if they wanted to, and at a reduced amount of face amount is what I hear. So, and I'm having a hard time paying for life insurance right now at my age, but I probably need some of that fee you're getting to help pay for it. So
You should have taken it out when you were a lot younger.
I did. I changed it to term, Eddie, when you were a state trooper. So
That's your problem.
go ahead.
I do have a question.
Go ahead, John.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I understand the intent here. I was just wondering, do you have a personal experience? Do you have a constituent that brought this issue to you, or what have you? Or I understand the issue. I'm just wondering, where did it originate for you, specific?
Well, I'm in the property casualty insurance business, and I did have an individual from Hall County approach me about it. And on top of that, Representative Carlson, my brother just got diagnosed with lung cancer 2 weeks ago. So, but hopefully he'll be okay. But you never know, and we've reached that age where things like this can happen. So, it's just another tool in the toolbox I see, and I think we've got issues. I've got problems at my age paying the premium I'm having to pay. I hadn't been diagnosed with anything yet, but once you get to a certain age, it's very costly. And we have a State Farm agent to my left over here, and retired state trooper. But you're right about what you said. You should have kept. I should have kept everything in place. But there was a guy by the name of A.L. Williams said, you needed to. You're throwing your money away with whole life. You need to invest it in term.
You better pay attention to who you listen to.
That's right. Of course, A.L. is very wealthy today, so.
He is, but
Yeah, that is correct. So, anyway, that's the thrust of it, and trying to come up with a resolution on it. So next meeting on the 17th, why don't we do testimony? All the life carriers I know can have someone here. I think it'd be better, Bob, if y'all have somebody from the actual life companies here. We know y'all represent them. I know Allstate's here. I don't know who else is here, but I'd like to hear from the carriers on what they have to say. And then we'll have some people from, I know we've had people had been diagnosed with some terminal illnesses, and that would like to testify as well. And Mike Ake, is that you? All right, Patty, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I realize I'm not on the committee, but I thank you for allowing me to share the table with you all. Unlike my colleagues that are in the insurance business, I'm in the funeral home business. And one of the things that I'm hoping that will come out of this committee, study committee, is a discussion about time frames of verifying benefits of life insurance policies, because it makes it really difficult for funeral home professionals to move forward on funeral arrangements where we cannot verify who is actually the beneficiary and what the benefits are. So I'm hoping that there would be some discussion during this study committee regarding that particular issue. Thank you.
So you're saying on the life policies that you look at, you can't verify who the beneficiaries
There
are?
are some times that families come in and do not have all of the documents of the policy, and they cannot verify. They don't know who the beneficiary is. And the insurance companies sometimes require up to 72 hours to verify who is the beneficiary. So therefore, we can't even move forward on trying to complete funeral arrangements when we don't know who the beneficiary is to sign off on documents to allow us to move forward on the funeral plans. And
Would you tell us what carriers they are, where we can notify them?
well, companies like Colonial Penn. I had just back in December, I had a issue with American General. It was an old policy, and it took an awfully long time to get it verified of who was the beneficiary and what the benefits were. And that's all we need to know, just who the beneficiary is and if there's enough money to cover a $10,000 policy. I don't really need to know the face amount, just to know there's going to be enough to cover this funeral. And if the families want a funeral, they scheduled a funeral for Saturday, and here we are Thursday and still don't know what's the benefits and who's the beneficiary, it makes it really hard for us to move forward on trying to have a funeral set for Saturday.
What do you do with them?
Well,
Put them in the cooler?
there have been some times we had to push the funeral date back until we can get things verified. Because, unfortunately, if we move forward on a funeral and we don't have verification of anything, it may be difficult for us to get paid for that funeral. And we don't want to risk that chance. So we just kind of hold back. And so if there's a way to
Sure.
try to help expedite that process, the funeral home industry, the associations across the state would be greatly appreciative.
Okay. So on the 17th, why don't we start the meeting at, say, 1 o'clock and listen, if everybody can have their witnesses here to testify for the insurance companies. And I guess, Patty, you need to have some funeral directors here, I guess. So.
Yes, sir.
And I know there are other folks. We'll have some people that will be diagnosed with illnesses that would like to have this benefit as well. And while I'm thinking about it, I know when life settlement occurs or has occurred in the past, it would be nice to know where for me and I think for the committee, if a policy is bought and the cash is advanced to that insured, where the end cycle is, where does it go? Who does it go to? Does it go to to the company that the life settlement's settled with, or is it spun off to somewhere else? It would be nice to know who ends up with the policy and also the beneficiary. I think that would be helpful for the committee. Would be for me anyway. So, okay, we've been here 30 minutes. So, anybody else in y'all want to say anything or anything else we need to do that you know of? Graham, you want to say anything? All right. Brad, you want to say anything? Anybody? Allstate? State Farm? Terry, you want to say anything? Okay. Anything we're missing? Committee members? I got any comment? Okay, you want to say something? Go ahead.
Is there anything you want us to read, study, people to talk to over the next month or what have you?
This is my personal feeling on it. I think we'll have enough testimony here if you have any doubt about the study committee or what we're trying to accomplish. I think we have an issue with the life companies, have an issue with the life settlement companies, and we need to hear all sides of the issue right now. So Only thing I can tell you, Representative Carlson, is talk to some of your folks that you may know. Your banking people may know of times and issues. I haven't talked to my brother who's been diagnosed with his disease, what his plans are, but he may have an issue himself. I'm not sure. We're 15 months apart, but from all indications, he may be all right, but there again, he may not be. So there's a lot of unknowns there. So.
Mr. Chairman, would you like me to email a copy of that substitute to 193 that Lynn's been working on?
Sure. Yeah. Yep. Are you finished with it now, Lynn?
No, this was the last version.
Oh, was okay.
Where we stopped the last changes.
Okay.
Substitute. And so I'm going to verify, make sure that this was answered.
Okay.
Version and send it to Brad. But that's where we handle it, is the notification and the requirements and what triggered it.
Okay.
So it's a short bill. It's not a very long bill.
Nobody's here from the insurance department, is there?
Jay was left. I don't know who's taking his place.
Jay has left?
Yeah, he is now the chief of staff. David Chief.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay.
I haven't been told who his replacement is.
Okay, but he's got other people over there he can send over, so we just need to make sure we notify the department. Okay. And I know some of the emails went out. I think, Caroline, your email was wrong. Y'all may want to, yeah. This is Jan Brown, administrative assistant for me. Any of you need to have other folks to, for her to email for notification, please use her if that would be of help to you. So. Okay, anything else? Okay, thank y'all for attending, and we'll see you on the 17th.